The purpose of this video is to introduce you to the user interface for Fusion 360 and set a cornerstone for all of your future projects within the software. Let's start with the Quick Access Toolbar. The Quick Access Toolbar is located in the top left corner of the user interface. We're going to start by showing the data panel. The data panel has a list of projects and folders that are relevant to the design. So let me restate that. If we go to the home level, you can see all of my projects listed on the left-hand side. If I wanted to see a particular project, in this case I'm working on this DIY Powerwall project, I would double-click that, and that would show a list of subfolders, and these subfolders contain components that are relevant to this design. So for example, if I wanted to take a look at the PCBs that I might have for this battery project, I can double-click that, and I can see the PCBs that are relevant to the project. In this case, I have two. I have one that's a battery management system PCB, and I have a PCB that's relevant for the cell holders. If I want to go back to the root level of this project, I would just click on the root level title, in this case DIY Powerwall. And I have several other folders that contain several other components relevant to this design. The next menu item on our Quick Access Toolbar is the File button. And as you might expect, it has a list of menu options that are commonly found in the File option for most applications. So you can create a new design, you can save, upload, share, export, so on and so forth. The next menu item is Save. You can tell that your document is not saved by locating this little asterisk next to your title of the document. And as you can see, we're currently working on version 9. However, that's going to change in just a second. So if I hit the Save button, a dialog box pops up, and it gives you the ability to put in some useful information. So if I was working with a team, I could go and put in here, instead of saying user saved, I can say, hey, I added another module, or I added another bolt, or I changed the bolt to M3 10 millimeter long bolt, or something like that. So you could put that in this user description. If you hit a particular milestone and you wanted to signify that, you can click this milestone checkbox, and it would automatically generate some text for you, but you can change that. You can have it say battery pack build complete, or whatever you want. But in this case, I'm just going to uncheck this. I'm going to hit OK. And as I do, I want you to pay attention to the title up at the top. A checkbox comes up signifying to you, the user, that the save was successful. And then you'll see the version change from 9 to 10. And notice that there's no more asterisk there. That means that the save has been completed, and we are now working on a clean status, if you want to call it that. Now our save button has sort of been subdued, meaning it's not clickable anymore. We have the undo and redo buttons. The undo is obviously going to have a list of all of your previous actions. So as you can see, I did a lot of showing and hiding there. The final option is going to be any kind of plugins or add-ins that you have for Fusion 360. In my case, you can see I have SimLab Collada Exporter. The next item on our tour of the user interface is going to be the ribbon. And the ribbon is located just underneath the Quick Access Toolbar. The ribbon is a dynamic interface that provides access to many of the tools and options available to users of Autodesk Fusion 360. The first option on our ribbon toolbar is the ability to change the workspace. So if I click this button, you can see that we can change our workspace to various other options. So you'll find design, render, animation, simulation, manufacture, and drawing. We won't go into depth on these for now, because it's well beyond the scope of this particular video. The ribbon also gives us the ability to change how we model or how we design. So we have surface, sheet metal, and other tools. And as I said, it's dynamic. If I was working in the form design aspect, then this top menu here would also change, and you would see the next between solid and surface should be form. So as you can see, we're currently under the solid design scheme, and there's some quick access buttons that are built into the ribbon right off the bat. So in this case, we can create a sketch, we can do an extrude, a revolve, a hole, a rectangular pattern, so on and so forth. These are just quick access. By clicking the drop down button, you can access a lot more tools than what you see listed here. So as you can see, we have our shell and our draft, our scale, combine, offset face, replace face. Let's say that I use one of these options a lot more frequently than other people might use it. Well, maybe I want it to be a little bit quicker to access. So I can just click on this little 3-button ellipsis here, and I can add this. I can pin this to my toolbar. And there you see it was added to my toolbar. Maybe I don't really use this move copy a whole lot, so I can come over here and I can unpin that. And finally, I'll show you adding another one, the align button. So as you can see, you can customize your toolbar to fit your specific needs. The next item that we're going to cover is the view cube. The view cube is a way for you to change your view and check out all aspects of your particular design. So if I click on the front, it shows me a view of the front. I can use these arrow buttons located on the left and right and top and bottom sides to change the view to an entirely different plane. So in this case, if I wanted to take a look at the right, the back, the bottom, go back to the back, and then the top, and I can rotate this around. I can also drag and manually move. If I want to see a particular corner, I can say, oh, I want to see this corner in the back. And it shows the front, right, and top, but it looks a little weird. So if I just hit the home button, it kind of corrects that for me. I can click on, let's get the other corner here. And as you can see, it rotates around to that particular view in a really quick fashion. There's a little drop down arrow just below the view cube and to the right. And if you hit that, you can change how you see certain things. So you can go orthographic. I'm going to go back to perspective. I can rotate this around, and then in here, give me the ability to go home. I can set my current view as front. So let's explore that. So let's say for example, like right now it's showing that this is the front, but what if I wanted this to be the front? Well, I could just come here and set current view as front. So now if I hit my home view, this would be the left side of my battery pack, the front side of my battery pack, and the right side of my battery pack. All right, I'm going to go ahead and save that and hit OK. Cool. Let's go back to our home view. Yeah, we're already there. Perfect. So on the left-hand side, we have our browser. And the browser is going to contain a list of all the bodies and the sketches and components that are relevant to this design. So by clicking on some of these items, we can explore. We can see that we can change our units from millimeters to inches or from metric to standard because there's multiple options here. You can go centimeter, millimeter, meter, inches, and feet. We're going to go ahead and leave that alone. We can also access a quick view by clicking any of these. The next one down is origin. So we can display the origin, which in this case is sort of back here in the back. Typically your origin would be right in the middle of your design, but we're going to leave that alone for now. That's in the scope of another video. If we had any joints, they would be displayed. So if I click this, you'll see that I have a few rigid joints throughout the model, which is beyond the scope of this particular video, but we'll cover it in another one. And then of course I have this long list of components that are all shown in this particular design. So if I want, I could click on this and hide that standoff, and you would see that screw sticking through. So yeah, if you wanted to, let's say for example, I want to hide a 18650 battery cell because I wanted to see inside that cell. I wanted to see like, okay, am I obstructing anything? Well, no, I'm not. So all right, I can show that again. All right. You can minimize this. If you're looking for more screen real estate, you can minimize that. If you're working with a team on this particular project, Or if you just want to jot yourself down some notes like, I need to fix this, or maybe you put like a list of to-dos here. You can put those in. You can load up captured images of your progress. Yeah, like I said, all of your comments are going to be listed there. Let's go ahead and bring this back. Okay, now let's take a look at this menu item just down below. This is called the display controls. So we could do constrained orbits and free orbits. We can take a look at something. We can pan around, so I can click this and click the pan button. You can also do that by holding the center wheel on your mouse. If you click and hold that, you can pan around like so without having to use this. You have zoom, so we can zoom in and out. This is also attainable by scrolling on your center scroll wheel. You can fit the whole design to your view. You can zoom the window, so I can just take a look right there. Your display settings, and there's a whole list of items here. You can change your visual style, so maybe you don't want to see all these lines. You would change the visual style to shaded. I'm going to go back and do shaded with visible edges. You can display your layout grid. You can do snapping. You can do incremental moves, and you can set increments, which we won't really cover that in this video. And then you can do multiple views. So you can have like top, down, front, right. I'm just going to go with a single view. Okay. Finally, we have a list of history or the timeline of our design. So if you want to take a look at how this design has progressed, you can literally scroll all the way back, and then you can step through the design process and take a look at your history. And as you can see, I've just gone through and I've been placing in components. But we're going to go ahead and skip all the way to the end on that. You can create a new design by clicking on these plus icons here. If you have any credits, like if you're using the non-free version of Fusion 360, you would see it all listed under this extensions. I'm going to click cancel. Your job status, you can see if you're working on or offline. And sometimes you'll see, like if you click this, they do these updates to Fusion 360 on a pretty regular basis. So you might see like a progress of the downloaded update. And then whenever it's done, you would just restart Fusion 360 to get the new thing. Anything related to your account here, and the help button. So this concludes the tour of Autodesk Fusion 360 user interface. In future videos, we're going to actually go into doing some modeling and design.